I'm teaming up with Herzog Contracting to provide periodic looks at Sunrail's Deland Expansion, with this edition looking at the progress as of October and November 2023. Sunrail is a commuter rail line currently operating in Central Florida between Point Siena and Debary through downtown Orlando. It originally opened in 2014, with a southern expansion opening in 2018. Sunrail's Deland Expansion will add about 12.5 miles to Sunrail's route on the north end, with a new station being added in Deland adjacent to the existing Amtrak station. We'll start just north of the Debary station at the Fort Florida Road crossing. Crews recently removed the turnout that had been the south end of the former Benson Junction siding. The old siding track is now the new Eastern Main Line and was connected via a new track panel to the Fort Florida Road crossing and the existing double track at the station. This now extends the double track all the way to the north end of the former siding, or roughly an additional 2 miles. From the north end of the former siding, there are several miles of single track that will remain. As part of this, new cantilever signals were activated around the station to correspond with the track changes, with the old siding signals removed. A tamper, regulator, and stabilizer are parked at the end of a siding. With the completion of this turnout removal and signal cutover brings an end to the major work here on the south end of the project. The remaining work is on the northern 4 miles or so of the corridor, where the additional double track is being added. We'll now head to the French Avenue overpass. At this location, French Avenue crosses over the tracks. Here, crews had to install new crash walls protecting the bridge's pilings. These are the short walls inside each of the piers. This is now a standard practice for rail projects passing under bridges, which is why this location was retrofitted with them. This and the surrounding area will remain single track. In the distance here is roughly where the double track will begin. Continuing on to Lake Beresford Park. Here, crews have been in the process of replacing the park's pedestrian underpass. I visited on 2 occasions. This was filmed on the first day as the crews were installing the extension segments for the underpass. The extension is formed by 4 segments that were cast off-site, then trucked to the site to be placed. Surrounding the underpass, the civil crews have continued clearing and grading the right-of-way where the second track will eventually go. Switching briefly to my second visit, you can see the clearing extending around the curve and into the distance. And now back to my first visit. Here's Amtrak Train 97, the Silver Meteor, passing the underpass. And another quick look at the underpass segment. Once all the segments were in place, I was permitted to fly my drone through it. You can see the old segments begin here. They will be replaced at a future date. The item on the tripod is part of the survey system. The track they are starting to build here is for a shoe fly. This will be for a temporary alignment that will be in place so the old underpass segments can be removed and replaced. Now on my second visit 3 weeks later, and you can see the shoe fly installed here, shifting trains over the extension segments I was showing earlier. The replacement segments had been installed here the previous day after the old ones had been demolished and removed. New wing walls had been installed on the extension side of the underpass. Continuing north a little ways to the Alexander Road crossing. This dirt road crossing has undergone a major transformation. Previously, this crossing only had crossbucks and a stop sign with crossing panels between the rails. Now it is paved with the addition of active crossing protection and 4-quadrant gates. While the crossing work was ongoing, a temporary crossing was constructed just to the south to provide access for the residents living on the west side of the tracks. At this point, most of the roadbed work is complete in this area and ready for sub-ballast and track construction. Here's a better look at the temporary crossing. Barriers now block it until it can be removed. This next crossing will be rebuilt as well soon. The new crossing protection here will be activated in the future as part of a signal cutover, so the old crossbuck and stop sign remain for now. And here's a low-level flight through the area. The new track will be added on the left. We'll now head to the Deland Station. This was another location I visited twice, so we are starting with the first visit. Work continues on the new parking lot here. Drainage work is nearing completion and grading continues. The far north end of this clearing will be a retention pond. The entire parking area, along with pickup and drop-off areas, are being reconfigured here from the limited Amtrak facilities that had existed. This includes the addition of areas for public transit bus stops. Amtrak's operation here will remain the same, with them continuing to use the historic Atlantic Coastline Station building and existing platform. Trackside and some of the initial foundation work for Sunrail's future island platform has begun. South of the old New York Avenue crossing, work on the roadbed continues. Alongside the future platform, you can see rebar formed and stacked up that will eventually be incorporated into the platform. Now on the ground on the Amtrak platform, and you can see these initial foundations in place, along with forms in place for an upcoming concrete pour. These forms are for what will eventually become the edge of the new platform. Now on my second visit, and some major progress had been made. You can now start to see some layout of the parking lot taking shape. Crews were actively working on part of the new entrance road, which you can also see start taking shape. Shifting over to the track side, and the forms I showed earlier had concrete poured, forming the edge of the new low-level platform. Additional forms and rebar are in place as more of the future platform takes shape. Passengers will access the platform via a walkway from the old New York Avenue crossing on the south end and new pedestrian crossing to the new parking lot on the north end. The existing Amtrak platform will remain to service the longer Amtrak consists. The roadbed looks to be complete south of the crossing. And one last aerial look at the station. Here's the ground level view of the new concrete for the platform. Fresh ballast was also spread alongside the edge of it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. Also check out my social media pages.